Bang. All right, guys, here we are. Tarps off. MMA is back. It feels like the news is finally flying, Jack. We had about a month lull there, but it does not stop. Chris Mancuso here and Jack Gotzel of Tarps Off Sports. Now, Francis Ngannou, Dana White had a whole situation. Unless you lived under a rock in the MMA world, you know what happened. Dana wasn't in the octagon, didn't give him the belt, didn't show up to the post-fight press conference. So the UFC president tonight did a question and answer on ESPN Plus, did a little Q&A, and obviously the Francis Ngannou situation came up, and not really to my surprise, but it was like almost appalling, to a point where he was just like, essentially Dana's side of the story is, no, something happened after the co-main event in the backstage, and I had to be out there, and I wanted to put the belt on Francis Ngannou. And it was funny. He said, and I quote, I wasn't out there for the main event. I actually walked out of the arena right after the co-main event because there was stuff going on backstage that I was dealing with. For anybody that thinks I was showing any type of disrespect towards Francis, I saw Francis all week, you idiots. I shook his hand. I said hi to him. I was out there for the stare downs, the whole thing. He said, for anybody that thinks there was some sort of disrespect between Francis, I wasn't out there for Michael Bisping versus Luke Rockhold either because I was dealing with some stuff. Jack, I don't
Yeah,
know about you, but I think he was also mad that Bisping beat Rockhold for the title and screwed up the 185. Isn't that why he brought George out of retirement to try to take that from him? Like what?
that is
I left the
100% what
DNA.
happened. Basically, what this translates to here is I could deal with Francis for the bare minimum the entire week, but once he won, it boiled me over and I couldn't even do the bare minimum anymore, which is put a belt around his waist. I mean, I get not showing up to the press conference, but like you got to put the title on him at least.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny, that's a question and answer and the fans, and the question wasn't asked about the UFC suing him and telling him that as he was walking into the arena for talking to Jake Paul's
I'm
boxing
sure no
promoter.
fan submitted that question.
Nope, no, that one didn't happen to make it through ESPN. You know what? We might not blame Dana, Jack, but you know what Dana doesn't give?
Let me repeat for the fucking billionth time. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Fair enough.
Don't give a fuck.
So you know what? At the end of the day, Dana's gonna Dana. I thought it was interesting. He brought up still being interested in doing Ngannou versus Jones. Seemed like he was just acting like they're gonna figure it out with Francis. The complete opposite vibe that Francis went with on Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour back on Monday, and a little bit opposite of the vibe that I thought we were gonna get from Dana White today. He either like full on addresses nothing or tries to turn the tables and be like, well, this is why this is this guy's fault. And he really did none of it.
Yeah, it was a weird third play for Dana. Kind of pretend like nothing's happening, like it's all good between him and Francis for the most part. He didn't even address really the beef. He just said he wasn't disrespectful to Francis and that he wants Francis to fight Jon Jones. He even gave Francis compliments about his wrestling and
Yeah.
his approach and how he was a smart fighter and had a high fight IQ.
Well, yeah, I mean, he is right. I mean, there's no question Gon didn't do any sort of wrestling training for that fight because he didn't think he had to. It was a master class, great coaching, obviously great fighter in Francis Ngannou. But as of now, it seems like Dana White, everything's fine. It was just a coincidence. That stuff happened in the back. The things happen behind the scenes. Things are always happening behind the scenes. But I don't know, man. It was funny. I was kind of hoping that there'd be a little more oomph to the story just as a media guy. I mean, fuck, we run a sports media site, guys. I mean, drama and shit like that bodes well for us. So like I was hoping to be a little more, but I thought it was funny that Dana just kind of came out and acted like nothing even happened and that everyone was dumb for even questioning it. It was pretty funny play by the UFC president.
I do have to say I am intrigued to see how this plays out, how Francis responds to that, what happens here. I still don't think Francis is going to resign with the UFC, but Dana seems confident, so I'm excited to see what happens here.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens, guys. Let us know in the comment section if you think Francis Ngannou will be back or not. Chris Mancuso, Jack Gotzel, Tarps off MMA. Hit subscribe. Don't be an ass.